Ladies and gentlemen, we kindly request all of you to please rise as we now warmly welcome our chief guest along with other dignitaries as they make their way into the hall in procession in order to commence this evening's proceedings. A very good evening, distinguished chief guest, Dr. Harini Amarasuriya, Honorable Prime Minister of the Democratic Socialist Republic of Sri Lanka, and the Minister of Education, Higher Education and Vocational Education, Mr. Priyantha Ranasinghe, President of CIPM Sri Lanka, Ms. Margaret Curran, International Regional Manager, South Asia Qualification Scotland, Mr. Mark Hill, International Regional Manager, Americas Qualification Scotland, office bearers, council members of CIPM, other dignitaries, ladies and gentlemen. And in keeping with tradition, let us commence the day's proceedings with the lighting of the traditional oil lamp. And in order to do the honors, we cordially invite our distinguished chief guest, Dr. Harini Amarasuriya, Honorable Prime Minister of Sri Lanka, the President of CIPM Sri Lanka, Mr. Priyantha Ranasinghe, International Regional Manager, South Asia Qualification Scotland, Ms. Margaret Curran, International Regional Manager, Americas Qualification Scotland, Mr. Mark Hill, Immediate Past President of CIPM Sri Lanka, Mr. Ken Vijayakumar, Vice President, CIPM Sri Lanka, Dr. Neil Bogahalanda, Honorary Secretary of CIPM Sri Lanka, Mr. Priyankara Seneviratne, the Chairman of Professional and Academic Affairs Technical Committee, Dr. Sanat Palyaguru, Chief Executive Officer of CIPM Sri Lanka, Mr. UAC Ubesekara, Chief Operating Officer CIPM Sri Lanka, Ms. Himali Dasanayaka, Director of Professional and Academic Affairs CIPM Sri Lanka, Mr. G. Veeratunga, Director Business School, Mr. Anushka Erskine, and Director Finance, Ms. Vatsala Nadeshani. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the pride of our nation, the national anthem, followed by the CIPM theme song.
Sri Lanka Mata, Upper Sri Lanka, Namo. අභිමානයකින් ඉදිරියටම යන CIPM සැමදා මුරැඳෙන නවමුආරකින් විවිධී සුපිපෙන සුහදව නිති මිනිසත්කම් අගයන ව්‍යවසායකයින් රැජමෙන සිරිබිම දියුණෙන් දියුණට පෙරමුණගෙන අද සාඩම්බරයෙන් සිහිපත් කර අපි සමරමු පැතියෙන් දිරිදෙන හැමනිපි අනදිසේවයෙන් ලොවගෙන නාපි අදත් හෙටත් සැමදා වැජබෙමු අපි CIPM name shall excel, flying a flag of splendor through our realm. நாடும் சிறந்து நாளும் செழிக்க ஒன்றாய் சேர்ந்து உழைப்போம் நாமும் මානව සම්පත අගතැන් පත්කර සකල දේශයම ජයනද නන්දන අභිමානයකින් ඉදිරියටම යන CIPM සැමදා මුරැඳෙන අභිමානයකින් ඉදිරියටම යන CIPM සැමදා මුරැඳෙන
Thank you. Please be seated. Madam Prime Minister, distinguished invitees, ladies and gentlemen, once again a very good evening and a warm welcome to all of you for a truly historic occasion, the official launch of the QS accredited chartered qualification in Human Resource Management SCQF Level 11 new syllabus. Well, this landmark achievement, ladies and gentlemen, by the Chartered Institute of Personnel Management Sri Lanka marks a significant milestone in advancing professional human resource education in Sri Lanka. And today's launch is not merely the introduction of a revised curriculum. It represents global recognition, academic excellence, and international benchmarking at the highest level. And with accreditation aligned to the Scottish Credit and Qualifications Framework Level 11, the CQHRM qualification now stands firmly on a globally recognized platform, enhancing its credibility, professional mobility, as well as international stature. Now, the newly redesigned syllabus reflects the realities of today's evolving business landscape. It integrates contemporary global HR practices, strategic leadership competencies, digital transformation, governance standards, and future-ready workforce strategies. In doing so, it ensures that graduates are equipped not only with strong theoretical foundations and knowledge, but with practical, strategic, and globally aligned expertise demanded by modern organizations. And through this milestone, CIPM Sri Lanka reaffirms its unwavering vision to shape competent, ethical, and future-ready HR leaders who contribute meaningfully to organizational excellence as well as national development. And this evening stands as a testament to CIPM's continued dedication towards raising the gold standard of human resource management in Sri Lanka and beyond. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, in order to formally welcome you all this evening, I take the privilege in inviting Mr. Priyanth Ranasinghe, the President of CIPM Sri Lanka and the Chief People Officer at Siam City Cement Lanka Limited.
Honorable Dr. Harini Amarasuriya, Prime Minister of the Democratic Socialist Republic of Sri Lanka and Minister of Education, Higher Education and Vocational Education. In a while, our Honorable Deputy Minister Chathura Abesing also will be joining this occasion. Mrs. Margaret Curran, International Regional Manager, South Asia, Qualification Scotland. Mr. Mark Hill, International Regional Manager, Americas, Qualification Scotland. Distinguished secretaries to the ministries, heads of regulatory authorities, senior government officials, respected council members, past president of CIPM, corporate leaders who are here today, academics, HR professionals, distinguished invitees, lecturers of CIPM, CIPM staff members, ladies and gentlemen. Very good evening to all of you. It is with immense pride, humility, and a deep sense of national duty that I stand before you this evening at Cinnamon Life, Colombo, to welcome you to this significant occasion. The official launch of revised chartered qualification in human resource management, widely known as CQHRM, now internationally recognized by Qualification Scotland at SCQF level 11. This is not just the start of a syllabus, it is a national declaration of intent. At the very outset, please allow me to express, on behalf of the entire CIPM fraternity, our deepest gratitude to the Honorable Prime Minister, Dr. Harini Amarasuriya, for graciously accepting our invitation and for personally inaugurating this historic event. Honorable Prime Minister, your presence here today goes beyond ceremonial protocol. It signifies the government's recognition that professional education, global quality assurance, and human capital development are central to Sri Lanka's economic recovery and long-term transformation. We are equally honored by the presence of Mr. Chathura Abesing. As I told you, he will be here in a while. The Deputy Minister of Industry and Entrepreneur Development. We all know him because he was one of our lecturers. When we started about 10 years ago, the HR Analytics program, he was one of the very first lecturers who helped us developing the syllabus as well. We also warmly welcome Mrs. Margaret Curran and Mark Hill from Qualification Scotland. Thank you very much for your presence here. I hope that you will enjoy your stay in Sri Lanka, especially in Colombo. Your presence highlights the strength of our international partnership and the trust placed in CIPM as an approved center of global standing. Sri Lanka's educational landscape and the role of professional education. If I may take a few minutes to explain about it. Sri Lanka has long been recognized as a nation that values education with a literacy rate exceeding 92%. Our country stands proudly among the highest in South Asia. Our strong foundation of free primary, secondary education, national examinations, and a network of state universities has shaped generations of capable citizens. Yet, as we know, only a limited percentage of students who qualified at the GC advanced level are able to enter the state universities. This reality has made professional education not merely an alternative pathway, but an essential pillar of national human capital development. Over the decades, professional bodies such as CIPM Sri Lanka have played a vital role in widening access to structured, career-oriented education. When opportunities in management and HR education were limited, CIPM stood as one of the few institutes offering recognized professional study programs. Professional education guarantees relevance, it guarantees industry alignment, it guarantees that knowledge is not just academic but practical, strategic, and transformative. The significance of QS accreditation and SCQF level 11. The accreditation of CQHRM by Qualifications Scotland marks a defining moment in this journey. Qualifications Scotland is a globally respected awarding body, frameworks, governance standards, and international comparability, being recognized as an approved center and strategic partner is a testament not only to our curriculum but also to our institutional credibility. Academic governance, assessment integrity, and continuous quality improvement mechanisms. The CQHRM's placement at SCQF level 11, a postgraduate equivalent level, positions Sri Lankan HR professionals on an international platform. This recognition boosts global mobility, academic advancement opportunities, and professional credibility for our graduates. It aligns our qualification with international standards and enhances pathways to further postgraduate studies, including MSc and MBA programs. This achievement results from a structured and strategic process from curriculum revision and stakeholder consultation to validation, strengthening of internal quality assurance, and a rigorous external review. The importance of government endorsement and national support. Professional education cannot thrive in isolation. It requires policy recognition, regulatory alignment, and national endorsement. We sincerely value the role of the government of Sri Lanka and key authorities, including the Ministry of Education, the Ministry of Labour, TVEC, the Commissioner General of Labour, and the regulatory bodies in fostering an environment where professional qualifications are respected and valued. Honorable Prime Minister, your presence today signifies a collaboration between national leadership and professional institutions. Together, we can guarantee that Sri Lanka's workforce is not only educated but also globally skilled. At CIPM, we also believe that national development is not only a matter of policy but also shared responsibility of professional institutions and corporate citizens. Therefore, as part of our corporate responsibility, obligation, we are honored this evening to contribute rupees 4 million to the Rebuild Sri Lanka Fund as a modest yet meaningful commitment towards strengthening national recovery and the future of our people. I take this opportunity to warmly welcome our Deputy Minister, Mr. Chaturanga also. The importance of the CQHRM program and SQA accreditation. The CQHRM is CIPM's flagship qualification. It evolved from the professional qualification in human resource management and has now matured into a forward-looking, competency-based chartered qualification aligned with global best practices. The revised third edition incorporates strategic HR leadership, business acumen, professional credibility, capability building, digital transformation, AI-driven HR practices, HR analytics, sustainability, design thinking, growth behavior, and global talent management. These skills reflect the requirements of the modern workforce, where HR professionals are not just administrators, but strategic partners and leaders of change. The SQA accreditation guarantees that the program is not just benchmarked, but formally accredited and externally quality assured. It verifies comparability with international qualifications and boosts its credibility internationally. This recognition reinforces CIPM's vision of becoming a leading force and global leader in developing and managing human capital. We celebrate the confidence that Sri Lanka can produce HR leaders who compete on a global stage. And we celebrate a partnership between government, industry, academia, and professional institutes united by a shared responsibility to rebuild, reform, and reimagine our nation. Honorable Prime Minister, your leadership in education reform and your dedication to equitable access and quality improvement motivate institutes like ours to reach to the next level. We are sincerely grateful for your time, encouragement, and belief in education as a vital tool for national advancement. As we officially launch the QS accredited chartered qualification in human resource management, let this not be viewed as the end of a process, but the start of a broader national movement towards internationally benchmarked professional standard. May this milestone ignite ambition among our youth. May it strengthen governance within our organizations. May it elevate the credibility of Sri Lankan professionals across borders. And may Sri Lanka continue to rise, not only through knowledge, but also through professionalism, integrity, and visionary leadership. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much, sir, for setting the context for this evening. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we'd also like to take a moment in order to extend our very warm welcome to Honorable Chaturanga Besinga, the Deputy Minister of Industry and Entrepreneurship Development. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we now arrive at the most anticipated and defining moment of this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, as we launch the Chartered Qualification in Human Resource Management SCQF Level 11 new syllabus book, this milestone represents global alignment, academic excellence, and of course, the future of professional human resource leadership in Sri Lanka. And in order to officially inaugurate this historic launch, it's my distinct honor and privilege in order to invite Dr. Harini Amarasuriya, Honorable Prime Minister of the Democratic Socialist Republic of Sri Lanka, along with Mr. Priyanka Ranasinghe, the President of CIPM Sri Lanka, Dr. Neil Boghalanda, Vice President of CIPM Sri Lanka, and Mr. Priyankara Seneviratne, Honorary Secretary of CIPM Sri Lanka. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together as we now officially launch the book. And in order to officially hand over the first copy of the book, we'd like to invite on stage the dignitaries once again, Dr. Harini Amarasuriya, accompanied by Mr. Priyanka Ranasinghe, Dr. Neil Boghalanda, and Mr. Priyankara Seneviratne. Ladies and gentlemen, the first copy of the new syllabus book will now be presented to Honorable Prime Minister. And also, ladies and gentlemen, we invite all of you to explore the experience of future of HR at your fingertips, as the booklet you received has a QR code at the back of it. Scan it in order to access the newly launched CQHRM SCQF Level 11 new syllabus. Thank you very much, gentlemen. And Madam Prime Minister, we kindly request you to remain on stage. And please allow me a moment as I take the distinct honor of introducing you. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Honorable Dr. Harini Amarasuriya is the 17th Prime Minister of the Democratic Socialist Republic of Sri Lanka and the Minister of Education, Higher Education and Vocational Education. Sworn into office in November 2024, she entered Parliament as the Colombo District Group Leader of the National People's Power, securing a record number of preferential votes. Madam Prime Minister brings to national leadership a distinguished career spanning academia, social activism and public policy. A former senior lecturer in sociology at the Open University of Sri Lanka, she has long been an advocate for youth empowerment, social justice, gender equality, and inclusive development. An accomplished scholar, she holds advanced degrees from the University of Delhi, Macquarie University in Australia, and in 2011, she completed her PhD research on child protection in Sri Lanka, earning doctorates in social anthropology and international health and development from the University of Edinburgh and Queen Margaret University. Her journey reflects a steadfast commitment to the strengthening of education, advancing social equity, and shaping a more inclusive future for Sri Lanka. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together as we warmly welcome Dr. Harini Amarasuriya, Honorable Prime Minister, to address you all.
Thank you very much. Honorable Deputy Minister, QS representatives, distinguished guests, President, office bearers, council members, and staff of CIPM Sri Lanka, ladies and gentlemen. I'm really pleased to be here today at the launch of the QS accredited Chartered Qualification in Human Resource Management, offered by the Chartered Institute of Personnel Management in Sri Lanka. This event marks a significant step in strengthening Sri Lanka's professional education framework and aligning it with recognized international standards. As was mentioned earlier, this is of crucial importance to us in broadening our educational pathways and opportunities, that we increase opportunities for our youngsters and maybe not so young people also to enter into education that is globally recognized and offers pathways, different pathways in professional and vocational fields that have hitherto been fairly limited in Sri Lanka, and this aligns very well with the proposed reform process that we have started in the education sector. Also aligns with our concept of lifelong learning, so that you can work and learn at the same time, and also an understanding that education is not limited to a particular age group but can continue throughout a person's life. So we are very grateful to the CIPM for taking this forward and for ensuring that the academic qualifications you offer and that the learning environment that you offer is of international meets international standards and offers a quality education to all those who choose to follow this pathway. CIPM Sri Lanka has played an important role in developing human resource management as a recognized profession in our country. As was mentioned, our Deputy Minister was also once upon on the faculty of CIPM. Over the years, it has contributed to improving standards in people management across both the public and private sectors, and has supported the development of professional competence in this field. At a time when Sri Lanka is focused on economic recovery, institutional reform, and sustainable growth, the need for competent and ethical human resource leadership is clear. Strong institutions require professionals who can manage people effectively, uphold standards, and support organizational performance. The accreditation of the Chartered Qualification in Human Resource Management at SCQF level 11 by Qualification Scotland provides important international recognition. We are indeed developing our human capacity to not just fulfill local needs, but also meet global needs and be on par with global standards. It positions this qualification within a globally benchmarked framework and affirms its academic and professional standing. This recognition enhances the global acceptance of Sri Lankan human resource professionals, strengthens academic and professional progression pathways, and reinforces confidence in Sri Lanka's professional education system. As Sri Lanka advances its program of economic recovery and structural reform, strengthening human capital remains a national priority. What we want is not just a stable economy, but one that grows sustainably and one that is resilient and provides protection to all of our citizens. A competitive economy depends not only on investment and infrastructure, but also on skilled professionals who can lead institutions effectively. As you know, we have a real vacuum when it comes to effective leadership in all of our spheres, and this is an extremely important area in which we need to constantly improve. International benchmark qualifications such as the CQHRM contribute directly to improving productivity, accountability, and organizational performance across sectors. National development requires multiple pathways for education and advancement, and as you all know, our current education system does not provide that sufficiently. We need to expand the number of opportunities, particularly at tertiary level, and that does mean that we offer more pathways for professional and vocational education. In addition to schools and universities, professional institutions, therefore, play a critical role in equipping individuals with industry-relevant knowledge and practical skills. Human resource professionals play a central role in shaping organizational culture, ensuring compliance, and supporting strategic planning. Their contribution is essential to productivity, inclusion, and institutional stability. Human resource leadership also carries responsibility in advancing equity and inclusion within our workplaces. As Sri Lanka seeks to increase women's participation in the paid labor force and promote equal opportunity across sectors, professional HR standards must support fair recruitment practices, safe work environment, leadership development for women, and merit-based progression. Inclusivity must also extend to people with disabilities and neurodivergent individuals, ensuring that organizational policies, practices, and most importantly, organizational culture accommodate diverse needs, promotes accessibility, and values different perspectives, and human resource professionals can play a crucial role in ensuring all of this. By fostering workplaces that are inclusive, ethical, and equitable, we strengthen innovation, productivity, and social cohesion while upholding the principle that every individual can contribute and participate meaningfully in national development. By developing HR leaders who meet international standards, we are supporting the growth of capable organizations and the cultivation of responsible leadership. As you all know, we also are facing a challenging future with the advancement of AI and other technological innovations, which will shape our workforce in ways that we can only imagine right now. And particularly areas like human resources is going to really need to adapt to this new environment and to the new demands that AI will make on our industries and on our workforce. And I noticed that your curriculum had components that address this, and I really encourage you to think of this more seriously, particularly in light of the fact that many of us find it even difficult to predict the kinds of changes. I think it is extremely important that we build in ways in which human resource management also is able to adapt to those changing circumstances effectively. I commend the Council, management, academic teams, and international partners for their dedication and effort in achieving this recognition. The government recognizes and values the role of professional bodies such as CIPM in strengthening national human capital, which is the most precious resource that our country has, and complementing the formal education system. Investments in professional education are investments in institutional strength and national progress. Let this milestone reaffirm our commitment to building a skilled, ethical, inclusive, and globally competitive workforce. Thank you very much, and I wish all of you a very pleasant evening.
To request you to remain on stage. Ladies and gentlemen, we now move to a moment that reflects not just professional excellence, but also national responsibility. Now, as we all know, Cyclone Ditwa brought severe weather conditions across several parts of the country, affecting communities, damaging infrastructure, as well as affecting livelihoods. And as the national body of human resource management, the Chartered Institute of Personnel Management Sri Lanka believes its role extends beyond professional development and corporate engagement. And in solidarity with the affected communities, CIPM Sri Lanka is contributing 4 million rupees towards the Rebuilding Sri Lanka Fund, reaffirming its commitment to national recovery and its belief that rebuilding our nation begins with supporting its own people. And in order to mark this significant gesture on stage, may I respectfully invite Honorable Chaturanga Singha, the Deputy Minister of Industry and Entrepreneurship Development, Mr. Priyantarana Singha, President of CIPM Sri Lanka, Dr. Neil Bogahalanda, Vice President, CIPM Sri Lanka, and Mr. Priyankara Senaviratne, Honorary Secretary of CIPM Sri Lanka, as they will now hand over the donation check to Madam Prime Minister, Honorable Dr. Harini Amarasuriya. And also, we now take the pleasure in presenting a special token of appreciation to Madam Prime Minister, Honorable Dr. Harini Amarasuriya. Thank you very much, dignitaries. Well, we would also like to extend our heartfelt appreciation to our distinguished chief guest this evening, Honorable Dr. Harini Amarasuriya, the Prime Minister of the Democratic Socialist Republic of Sri Lanka and the Minister of Education, Higher Education and Vocational Education, for gracing us with her invaluable presence. And ladies and gentlemen, we request all of you now to please rise as a mark of respect as the Premier leaves the premises. Thank you. Please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, in order to add more glitz and glamour for this evening, we have a special performance. This is coming from a well-known flutist, Asita. Hope you all enjoy it. Well, what a beautiful Sri Lankan traditional musical performance through the flute that was. A big thank you goes out to Asitha for that absolutely amazing performance. Ladies and gentlemen, as we move on to the next address this evening, I take the pleasure in introducing your speaker. Ms. Margaret has been part of the education community for nearly 30 years, holding various positions in both higher education and technical and vocational education and training at universities and colleges. In 2003, she was seconded to the National Body of Scotland's colleges as a part of an innovative government education project aimed at supporting the teaching profession in integrating technology tools to enhance the learning and teaching experience and to support professional development. In 2001, she was appointed by SQA as a specialist to support quality assurance and national qualification development projects. From 2006 onwards, she has taken on multiple roles with the organization, contributing significantly to SQA's international strategic development and growth. She currently heads operations and business development in the South Asia region. Ms. Margaret is a passionate advocate for international education and represents SQA on various international stakeholder groups. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in warmly welcoming the International Regional Manager, South Asia Qualification Scotland, Ms. Margaret Curran, to address you all now.
Honourable Deputy Minister and Ministries of Sri Lankan Government, distinguished guests and very esteemed colleagues from the whole team at CIPM, respected members of the HR community, fraternity, ladies and gentlemen, it is both an honour and a privilege to stand before you today to celebrate a significant milestone. The newly established partnership between the Chartered Institute of Personnel Management and the Scottish Qualifications Authority, which as of the 1st of February 2026 proudly carries forward its work under the name of Qualifications Scotland. This partnership marks not merely a formal agreement between two respected institutions, but the coming together of shared values, shared ambition, and a shared commitment to excellence in professional education. For decades, and in fact almost 100 years, the Scottish Qualifications Authority has stood as Scotland's national awarding body, entrusted with safeguarding the integrity, credibility, and global recognition of qualifications. Today, as Qualifications Scotland, it continues that proud legacy with renewed focus and strengthened resolve. Across continents, Qualifications Scotland has earned a reputation as a globally respected awarding organisation, one that is synonymous with quality, rigour and trust. Its qualifications are delivered in numerous countries, embedded within diverse education systems and recognised by universities, employers and professional bodies worldwide. At the heart of this global reputation lies an unwavering commitment to maintaining international standards. Qualifications Scotland's stewardship of the Scottish Credit and Qualifications Framework ensures that qualifications are positioned and are transparent across a coherent structure that supports comparability, progression, and lifelong learning. The framework is widely respected for its clarity and robustness, enabling learners and employers alike to understand the level, depth, and complexity of achievement. When a qualification is aligned to this framework, it carries not only academic weight, but international currency. It is within this context that we celebrate the strategic positioning of the master's level qualification delivered by the Chartered Institute of Personnel Management in Sri Lanka. The CIPM Level 11 Professional Qualification in Human Resource Management represents the pinnacle of professional HR education within the Sri Lankan context. It reflects advanced knowledge, strategic capability, and leadership competence in people management. With certification through Qualification Scotland, this qualification now gains an additional layer of global recognition and prestige. This is not simply an endorsement, it is a powerful statement. It signals that the CIPM Master's Level qualification meets internationally benchmarked standards. It assures employers, both locally and globally, that graduates have demonstrated learning outcomes comparable to advanced postgraduate study. It enhances the credibility of the qualification, strengthens its portability, and elevates its value proposition in an increasingly competitive global talent marketplace. For senior professionals, corporate leaders, and strategic HR practitioners, the relevance of this qualification cannot be overstated. Today's organisations operate in complex, volatile, and technology-driven environments. The role of HR has evolved far beyond administrative oversight. It is now central to organisational transformation, cultural alignment, workforce analytics, diversity and inclusion, and sustainable growth. Senior HR leaders must be equipped not only with the technological expertise, but with strategic insight, ethical judgment, and the ability to influence at board level. The CIPM Level 11 qualification, certificated by Qualification Scotland, responds directly to these demands. It develops critical thinking, evidence-based practice, and strategic leadership capabilities. It prepares professionals to navigate global workforce trends, to manage organisational change, and align people strategies with business objectives. It affirms their readiness to contribute meaningfully at the highest levels of corporate governance. For students who successfully complete the Level 11 qualification, the pathways and opportunities that follow are both exciting and far-reaching. First and foremost, there is enhanced global mobility. A qualification aligned with Scotland's national awarding body carries international recognition, supporting graduates who seek opportunities beyond national borders. Whether pursuing roles in multinational corporations, regional headquarters, or international development agencies, they do so with a credential that is understood and respected. Secondly, employability is strengthened. Employers value qualifications that are quality assured, externally benchmarked, and internationally validated. Certification by Qualification Scotland provides assurance that rigorous standards have been met, standards that encompass curriculum design, assessment integrity, and learner achievement. This assures enhanced professional credibility and differentiates graduates in a competitive labour market. Thirdly, the qualification opens doors to further academic and professional progression. The clarity of level descriptors within the Scottish framework supports articulation pathways to doctoral study or specialised professional certifications. It creates a platform for lifelong learning, enabling graduates to continue building expertise as the HR profession evolves. Central to all of this is the importance of quality assurance. The credibility of any qualification rests upon the robustness of its standards and the integrity of its assessment processes. Qualification Scotland brings with it a long-standing commitment to quality enhancement, continuous improvement, and academic integrity. Its external quality assurance mechanisms ensure that qualifications delivered internationally meet the same high expectations as those delivered within Scotland. This commitment to standards is not static, it is dynamic. It involves ongoing monitoring, periodic review, stakeholder engagement, and responsiveness to emerging global trends. It ensures that qualifications remain relevant, rigorous, and aligned with industry needs and demands. In partnering with CIPM, Qualifications Scotland extends this culture of quality to support excellence in HR education within Sri Lanka and beyond. Looking ahead, this partnership offers exciting opportunities for deeper strategic collaboration. Beyond certification, there is potential for joint initiatives in curriculum innovation, research engagement, faculty development, and regional capacity building. Together, CIPM and Qualifications Scotland can explore opportunities to expand access to internationally recognised qualifications across South Asia and other emerging markets. Such collaboration can support CIPM's regional and international expansion ambitions. By aligning with a globally respected awarding body, CIPM is well positioned to strengthen its own brand presence, attract diverse cohorts of learners, and contribute to shaping professional standards across borders. At the same time, Qualifications Scotland benefits from partnering with a leading professional body in Sri Lanka, rooted in local expertise and industry relevance. This is a partnership built not only in shared standards, but on a shared purpose: to elevate HR profession and to empower leaders who shape the future of work. In conclusion, let us reflect on the broader significance of what we celebrate today. In an era increasingly defined by digital transformation, automation, and artificial intelligence, it is tempting to focus solely on technological advancement. Yet, the strength of any organisation, and indeed any society, rests ultimately on its people. Human interaction, ethical leadership, empathy, collaboration, and engagement remain irreplaceable. Our joint commitment, therefore, extends beyond certification and frameworks. It is a commitment to strengthening the HR profession through meaningful international partnerships. It is a commitment to ensuring that technology enhances rather than replaces human connection. It is a commitment to cultivating leaders who understand that sustainable success depends on trust, inclusion, and shared purpose. Qualifications Scotland stands firmly committed to this partnership with CIPM Sri Lanka. Together, we embark on a long-term journey, one defined by mutual respect, shared standards, and a collective vision for advancing professional excellence. We look forward to supporting CIPM in delivering transformative education, expanding its reach, and shaping the next generation of strategic HR leaders. May this partnership flourish, may it inspire innovation and uphold integrity, and may it strengthen not only institutions, but the very profession that places people at the heart of progress. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam, and we kindly request you to remain on stage. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now be presenting the Qualifications Scotland Approved Centre certification. And in order to do the honours, along with Ms. Margaret Curran, we'd also like to invite Mr. Mark Hill on stage. And in order to accept the certification, we cordially invite Mr. Priyanka Ranasinghe, our President, along with Dr. Neil Boghalanda, Vice President, and Mr. Priyankara Seneviratne, our Honorary Secretary of CIPM Sri Lanka. Ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together as CIPM Sri Lanka is now receiving the Qualification Scotland Approved Centre certification. Thank you very much. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we invite all of you to please direct your attention towards the screen as we have a special video coming on CQHRM.
Every generation has a moment when it rises higher than before. A moment when ambition meets opportunity, when local excellence takes its place on the global stage. For decades, the Chartered Institute of Personnel Management Sri Lanka has shaped the architects of people, performance, and progress. Now, the journey ascends even further. The Chartered Qualification in Human Resource Management, CQHRM, reaches new heights of recognition, with QS accreditation aligned to the Scottish Credit and Qualifications Framework Level 11. CQHRM stands stronger, higher, and globally aligned, unlocking international credibility and academic parity. Built on a 12-pillar competency model, the revised CQHRM syllabus integrates strategic and sustainability leadership, digital and AI expertise, and global talent management, preparing future HR leaders for success on the global stage. This is not just a qualification. It is a launchpad, a global passport, a pathway for Sri Lanka's next generation of HR leaders to lead with confidence anywhere in the world. New heights of recognition. CQHRM, taking global recognition further. CIPM Sri Lanka, elevating HR leadership beyond borders.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we move on to the next address this evening, please allow me a minute as I introduce your speaker. Honorable Chaturanga Singh serves as the Deputy Minister of Industry and Entrepreneurship Development in the Government of Sri Lanka. He was elected to Parliament in 2024, representing the Colombo district from Kotte. He holds a Bachelor of Science Special in Finance from the University of Sri Jawatanapura and is a fellow member of the Chartered Institute of Management Accountants, UK. With over 16 years of professional experience, Honorable Chaturanga has gained diverse expertise in finance, HR analytics, data science, and digital transformation. He's an advocate for data-driven decision-making and entrepreneurship, driving industrial transformation in Sri Lanka. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in warmly welcoming the Deputy Minister of Industry and Entrepreneurship Development, Honorable Chaturanga Singh, to address you all.
Thank you very much. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great pleasure and honor to be here in a critical or a very important milestone of CIPM. Mr. Priyantha Ranasinghe, President of CIPM, Ms. Margaret, Mr. Mark, Mr. Neil, who's the Vice President, and Ms. Himali, the CEO, and all the distinguished invitees and the members of CIPM. So when I get here, when I got the invitation, it gave me great pleasure to join this institution because I was part of this some time back. So when we talk about CIPM, without getting this level of recognition in terms of a global standard, everybody in the country, most of the organizations have your graduates, your diploma holders and certificate holders delivering value to the entire nation. So now what's going to happen is you will be elevated to a global standard, and we thank for this collaboration, and it's going to add value to CIPM as well as the country. And first of all, I would like to congratulate all of you for achieving this milestone. So if I take few memories of my engagement here, basically I've started to, I was a finance person, moved to people management or HR in 2014, where we started people analytics at MS Holdings, probably the first function that started analytics in a large corporate. By 2019, I think CIPM reached out to me to see with certain individuals whether we could start people analytics as a subject. And I'm glad to say during the COVID time we started and we continued. So I'm glad that I was able to teach more than 600 students under this institution on people analytics. And that is how my engagement, but still people analytics is my pet subject and the most loved subject. Unfortunately, for 1.5 years, I have not taught this subject, and I would love to continue. I hope there will be some space in my career going forward to teach again, because that's my passion. So what brought me to politics is also people and skills. So my party's name is National People's Power. The reason I joined this party was by reading first 8 pages of 2019 manifesto, which is about education transformation. Whom I got inspired was the lady who left a little while ago, Harini Amarasuriya. She was so passionate about transforming education. Now she's she's leading that as the education minister. And I also got a portfolio under Ministry of Industries to drive productivity and economic changes in this country. So as we speak, country is at a very stable place, coming out of various issues, various problems. We have been resilient. Country is now having a predictable economy. Up to 2032, our economy is very predictable. Therefore, we see a surge of investment inquiries coming in. Businesses are growing, private credit is increasing, stock market is doing really well. So I see there's going to be a huge demand for capabilities in HR and people management. So that is something that you guys will have to deliver going forward in terms of helping us to achieve the full potential of our greatest asset, that is the people and the talent of this country. And when it comes to the evolution, I think CIPM has evolved with the global requirements. I still remember a video that I play normally in my lectures from David Ulrich, talking about the evolution of HR from administration to business partnering to becoming strategic HR. So strategic HR is more or less in simply earning a board member's seat in the boardroom, where the HR is consulted and leading organizations, because now the era for technology, which was 90s, it's over. Era for finance is over. Now which organization is going to win going forward is the organization who can manage its talent. It's a difficult task. The dynamics are changing. The workforce has already changed. The Gen Z, Gen Alpha, there's a different way of managing. There's technology has advanced. So the ability to manage talent is going to be critical, and that is where CIPM will come to play, where Sri Lankan organizations, for them to compete globally, they need that particular leadership. The chief people officer, we call it chief human resource officer, has to lead the organization going forward. So I'm pretty sure this qualifications and the knowledge base is going to help the leaders, HR leaders in the country to drive this country forward, because we are driving for productivity, we are driving for innovation, we are driving for global connectivity, and therefore who's going to do it is people. So I always tell productivity is not a function of multiple variables, it's an ultimate function of people. If we have the right person, rightly skilled, rightly motivated, and that is going to deliver what the organization's outcome is. So at the end of the day, the most critical resource in an organization is the people management skill. So it has to be not on a function, but every manager should have these skills, and that is why this institution will be pivotal, not only for HR professionals, but also for professionals in finance and management and operations to get these skills under their belt so that they could do a better job in driving the organization. So, and the role of CIPM, I would like to add few things. Apart from being a professional body giving qualifications, you have a larger role to play. Because Sri Lanka, we have not still figured out our workforce dynamics. What is our entire skill pool? What is the demand for the whole workforce? I think we expect as Ministry of Industries, if possible, to partner with you all to see how do we really map the next 5 to 10 years of the labor demand and the dynamics of the country, because there's a bigger role that we will have to play in mapping the industrial demand for talent or the global demand for talent and the supply. I know education reforms are taking place, but there is still a gap in bridging the demand for skill in the industry and the supply that we have. And also, you will have to lead the advocacy of policy changes, because we are still running with very old labor laws. So we expect as Ministry of Industries, organizations like CIPM to step forward and drive these changes in the labor reforms that will help the industrial transformation of this country. And as I will end again congratulating all of you, because across the globe, on leadership, 2/3 of the time of the leadership is discussing about people. We know technology is very evolving. Yes, it's a topic, but who's going to manage this technology? Who's going to lead my organization? Who's the manager I'm going to hire? What kind of talent that we will have in the organization is the biggest question. And that needs the skills of new HR managers, new people leaders, new experience officers. And that is where I think CIPM will deliver for the needs of the industry and again, needs of the country. The challenge ahead is quite significant. We are stretching for a 36 billion export market. So the only way forward is productivity, and productivity is going to come through people and productivity plus collaboration across the world. So negotiation skills, partnerships, collaboration, mergers, acquisitions, these are the things that's going to drive Sri Lanka forward. And I hope the talent that's going to come out of these new syllabuses, new qualifications, will help Sri Lanka to achieve those targets. And I wish all of you very best and have a great evening. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. And we'd like to invite you once again on stage, as we will now be presenting the first copy of the CQHRM SCQF Level 11 new syllabus book to Honorable Deputy Minister. And in order to do the honors, we'd also like to invite Mr. Priyantha Ranasinghe, the President of CIPM Sri Lanka, Mr. Ken Vijay Kumar, immediate past President of CIPM Sri Lanka, Dr. Neil Boghalanda, Vice President of CIPM Sri Lanka, along with Mr. Priyankara Selviratne, Honorable Secretary of CIPM Sri Lanka. Ladies and gentlemen, as the first copy of the CQHRM SCQF Level 11 new syllabus book is handed over to Honorable Deputy Minister, we will also be presenting a special token of appreciation to Deputy Minister Honorable Chaturanga Abhay-Singha. Thank you very much, Honorable Abhay-Singha. We request the rest of the gentlemen to please remain on stage. And now we'd like to invite Ms. Margaret Curran, International Regional Manager, South Asia Qualification Scotland, to please come on stage, as we'd also like to present you with the first copy of the CQHRM SCQF Level 11 new syllabus book. And next up, we will also present a special memento to Miss Margaret Curran. Thank you very much, madam. Gentlemen, please remain on stage. And next up, we invite Mr. Mark Hill, International Regional Manager, Americas Qualification Scotland, to also present the first copy of the CQHRM SCQF Level 11 New Syllabus book. And we will also be presenting a special token of appreciation to Mr. Mark Hill now. Thank you very much, gentlemen. And as we move on, ladies and gentlemen, we have a special mashup coming once again by Asita, the flutist. Asita, for that enchanting performance. And ladies and gentlemen, prior to wrapping up the formal proceedings of this evening, we now cordially invite, in order to propose the vote of thanks, Mr. UAC Obesekera, the CEO of CIPM Sri Lanka.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Our guest of honor, Honorable Chaturanga Abesinghe, Deputy Minister of Industries and Entrepreneurship Development, President of CIPM, Mr. Priyantha Ranasinghe, members of the Executive Council, Ms. Margaret Karan, International Regional Manager, South Asia, Qualifications Scotland, Mr. Martin Hill, International Regional Manager, Americas, Qualifications Framework, Scotland, past presidents of CIPM, heads and CEOs of multiple organizations assembled here, distinguished invitees, ladies and gentlemen, it is my profound honor and privilege to propose the vote of thanks on this occasion of the launch of the new syllabus of the Chartered Qualification on Human Resource Management. At the outset, I extend on behalf of CIPM Sri Lanka my deepest gratitude to Her Excellency, the Prime Minister of Sri Lanka, Honorable Ms. Harini Amarasuriya, for gracing this occasion and for providing a thought-provoking address. Honorable Deputy Minister of Industries and Entrepreneurial Development, Honorable Chaturanga Abesinghe, a big thank you for your kind presence and your thoughtful address. A special thank you goes out to the President of CIPM, Mr. Priyantha Ranasinghe, for leading from the front, as well as the office bearers and the Executive Council for the unstinted support provided towards making this event a success with a positive outcome. Thank you, Ms. Margaret Karan and Mr. Mark Hill, for your kind presence, traveling all the way from Scotland. I thank the past presidents of CIPM and the fellow members for gracing this occasion. Your presence here is a great encouragement. To all the industry leaders and CEOs across multiple organizations who are present, your presence has given us a lot of courage, and I therefore thank you very much for taking time off your busy schedules to be here. I wish to place on record my deepest appreciation to the members of the Curriculum Development Committee, led by Dr. Sanat Palliaguru, alongside Mr. G. Veeratunga, Director, Professional and Academic Affairs, and senior management staff who worked with dedication to develop a forward-thinking, industry-relevant blueprint for the benefit of students of CIPM and the country at large. In Sri Lanka, there are 5 types of education: vocational education, preliminary education, secondary education, tertiary education, vocational education and professional education, And at the chartered, in the chartered qualification, we call it a professional education because it has a professional phase. The chartered qualification of human resource management, therefore, is a very, very important asset to the students of human resource management who will qualify over a period of 3 years and become professional HR practitioners in this country. The new syllabus provides to fulfill a greater value addition to placing human resource management at the heart of the business. The CIPM is poised to raise the bar in HR education, thus signifying its dedication towards HR education in our country. As I leave you with my thoughts of appreciation, I wish all of you, this August Assembly present here this evening, a meaningful fellowship and a lovely evening. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ubesekara. And ladies and gentlemen, as we wrap up the launch of the QS accredited CQHRM SCQF Level 11 new syllabus, thank you very much for being here with us this evening. And also we'd like to remind all of you to please ensure that you collect your car park validation token right near the registration desk before you leave the premises. And with that, we'd also like to invite all of you now to please join us for dinner, followed by the fellowship. Thank you very much and enjoy the rest of the evening.